Welcome back to Bible Quiz. We have another 80 questions today, so let's get started. 1. Moses was taken up that he should not see death. False. Hebrews 11:5. By faith Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found because God had translated him, for before his translation he had this testimony that he pleased God. 2. The Lord corrected Peter when he initially refused to eat unclean animals. True. Acts 10:13-15. And there came a voice to him, "Rise, Peter, kill and eat." But Peter said, "Not so, Lord, for I have never eaten anything that is common or unclean." And the voice spake unto him again the second time, "What God hath cleansed, that call not thou common." 3. Peter walks to Martha's house after being freed from prison by an angel. False. Acts 12:12-13. And when he had considered the thing, he came to the house of Mary, the mother of John, whose surname was Mark, where many were gathered together praying. And as Peter knocked at the door of the gate, a damsel came to hearken named Rhoda. 4. Jesus says, "Get thee behind me, Satan," to James. False. Matthew 16:23. But he turned and said unto Peter, "Get thee behind me, Satan. Thou art an offense unto me, for thou savorest not the things that be of God, but those that be of men." 5. Jesus promises to send his disciples after his departure the Spirit of truth. True. John 14:17. Even the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it seeth him not, neither knoweth him, but ye know him, for he dwelleth with you and shall be in you. 6. Philip expresses his willingness to die alongside Jesus. False. John 11:16. Then said Thomas, which is called Didymus, unto his fellow disciples, "Let us also go, that we may die with him, Jesus." 7. Philip was asked to explain the scriptures to the eunuch during his journey. True. Acts 8:34-35. And the eunuch answered Philip and said, "I pray thee, of whom speaketh the prophet this, of himself or of some other man?" Then Philip opened his mouth and began at the same scripture and preached unto him Jesus. 8. Andrew and Peter are originally from Bethsaida. True. John 1:44. Now Philip was of Bethsaida, the city of Andrew and Peter. 9. Nathaniel first addresses Jesus as a teacher. False. John 1:49. Nathanael answered and saith unto him, "Rabbi, thou art the Son of God, thou art the King of Israel." 10. Nathaniel is said to be from Cana in Galilee. True. John 21:2. Here were together Simon Peter and Thomas, called Didymus, and Nathanael of Cana in Galilee, and the sons of Zebedee, and two other of his disciples. 11. Elizabeth addressed Mary as blessed when she visited her. True. Luke 1:42. And she spake out with a loud voice and said, "Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb." 12. Paul left Titus sick in Miletum. False. 2 Timothy 4:20. Erastus abode at Corinth, but Trophimus have I left at Miletum sick. 13. Titus was initially left by Paul in Crete to set things in order. True, Titus 1:5, for this cause left I thee in Crete, that thou shouldest set in order the things that are wanting, and ordain elders in every city, as I had appointed thee. 14. God made Pharaoh's heart hardened. True, Exodus 9:12, and the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he hearkened not unto them, as the Lord had spoken unto Moses. 15. The tablets Moses received on Mount Sinai had writing on one side only. False. Exodus 32:15, and Moses turned and went down from the mount, and the two tablets of the testimony were in his hand. The tables were written on both their sides, on the one side and on the other were they written. 16. The Israelites needed to provide a coconut oil for the lamp to stay lit. False. Exodus 27:20, and thou shalt command the children of Israel that they bring the pure oil olive beaten for the light, to cause the lamp to burn always. 17. Esau met Jacob with 400 men. True, Genesis 33:1, and Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau came, and with him 400 men, and he divided the children unto Leah and unto Rachel, and unto the two handmaids. 18. The sun will become dark, and the moon will turn red before the Lord's great day. True, Acts 2:20, the sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and notable day of the Lord come. 19. Jesus compares the second coming to the lightning in Matthew 24:27. True, Matthew 24:27, for as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. 20. After the tribulation, the powers of the heavens will shake. True, Matthew 24:29, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. 21. Whose bones were carried out of Egypt and buried in Shechem? Aaron, Moses, Joseph, or Jacob? Joseph, Joshua 24:32, and the bones of Joseph, which the children of Israel brought up out of Egypt, buried they in Shechem, in a parcel of ground which Jacob bought of the sons of Hamor, the father of Shechem, for 100 pieces of silver, and it became the inheritance of the children of Joseph. 22. What was the name of the centurion who sent for Peter? Felix, Lysias, Claudius, or Cornelius? Cornelius, Acts 10:3-5. He saw in a vision evidently about the 9th hour of the day an angel of God coming into him, and saying unto him, Cornelius. And when he looked on him, he was afraid, and said, What is it, Lord? And he said unto him, Thy prayers and thine alms are come up for a memorial before God. And now send men to Joppa, and call for one Simon, whose surname is Peter. 23. What was Israel not to set up which the Lord God hates? Graven images, worship daily, anoint with oil, or encircle with gold? Graven images, Deuteronomy 16:22, neither shalt thou set thee up in any image which the Lord thy God hateth. 24. Who destroyed the altar of Baal in Judges? Samson, Gideon, Saul, or David? Gideon, Judges 6:27-28. Then Gideon took 10 men of his servants and did as the Lord had said unto him. He did it by night, and when the men of the city arose early in the morning, behold, the altar of Baal was cast down, and the grove was cut down that was by it, and the second bullock was offered upon the altar that was built. 25. Who opposed the rebuilding of the walls of Nehemiah? Sanballat, Zerubbabel, Artaxerxes, or Ashdod? Sanballat. Nehemiah 4:1. But it came to pass that when Sanballat heard that we builded the wall, he was wroth, and took great indignation and mocked the Jews. 26. What strategy did Nehemiah use for protection while building? Moat dug, watch set, towers fortified, or sentries hidden? Watch set. Nehemiah 4:9. Nevertheless, we made our prayer unto our God and set a watch against them day and night because of them. 27. How did Nehemiah deal with the usury problem? Fines imposed, tax levied, debtors jailed, or assembly called? Assembly called. Nehemiah 5:7. Then I, Nehemiah, consulted with myself, and I rebuked the nobles and the rulers, and said unto them, Ye exact usury every one of his brothers, and I set great assembly against them. 28. What accusation did Sanballat and Geshem make against Nehemiah? Theft, betrayal, rebellion, or corruption? Rebellion. Nehemiah 6:5-6. Then sent Sanballat his servant unto me in like manner the 5th time with an open letter in his hand, wherein was written, It is reported among the heathen, and Gashmu saith it, that thou and the Jews think to rebel, for which cause thou buildest the wall, that thou mayest be their king according to these words. 29. How was a completed wall dedicated in Nehemiah? Levites gathered, burnt sacrifices, scrolls read, or feast prepared? Levites gathered. Nehemiah 12:27. And at the dedication of the wall of Jerusalem, they sought the Levites out of all their places to bring them to Jerusalem, to keep the dedication with gladness, both with thanksgivings and with singing, with cymbals, psalteries, and with harps. 30. How long did it take to finish building the wall of Nehemiah? 100 nights, 3 months, 70 weeks, or 52 days? "52 days." Nehemiah 6:15. So the wall was finished in the 25th day of the month Elul in 52 days. 31. Who became blind in old age? Jacob, Abraham, Isaac, or Noah? Isaac. Genesis 27:1. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son and said unto him, My son. And he said unto him, Behold, here I am. 32. In John's Gospel, where did Jesus send the blind man for healing? Bethesda Gate, Siloam Pool, Galilee Sea, or Jordan River? Siloam Pool. John 9:7. And said unto him, Go, wash in the pool of Siloam, which is by interpretation sent. He went his way therefore, and washed, and came seeing. 33. Who bargained with God to spare a city? Lot, Abraham, Moses, or David? Abraham, Genesis 18:22-23. And the men turned their faces from thence, and went toward Sodom, but Abraham stood yet before the Lord. And Abraham drew near and said, Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? 34. Where did Abraham sacrifice a ram instead of Isaac? Jehovah-Jireh, Peniel, Bethel, or Jabesh Gilead? Jehovah-Jireh. Genesis 22:14. And Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah-Jireh, as it is said to this day, in the mount of the Lord shall be seen. 35. Who was the first to marry two women? Esau, Abraham, Lamech, or Nahor? Lamech. Genesis 4:19. And Lamech took unto him two wives. The name of the one was Adah, and the name of the other Zillah. 36. Whose hand grabbed his twin's heel during birth? Esau, Abel, Seth, or Jacob? Jacob. Genesis 25:26. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. 37. What is forbidden to eat in the Old Testament? Grain, salt, blood, or honey? Blood. Leviticus 17:12. Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, No soul of you shall eat blood, neither shall any stranger that sojourneth among you eat blood. 38. How should land rest? Yearly tilling, constant harvesting, Sabbath observance, or monthly watering? Sabbath observance. Leviticus 25:4. But in the 7th year shall be a Sabbath of rest unto the land, a Sabbath for the Lord. Thou shalt neither sow thy field nor prune thy vineyard. 39. What is the penalty for blaspheming the name of God? Exile sentencing, stone to death, lashing punishment, or imprisonment term? Stoned to death. Leviticus 24:16. And he that blasphemeth the name of the Lord, he shall surely be put to death, and all the congregation shall certainly stone him, as well the stranger as he that is born in the land, when he blasphemeth the name of the Lord shall be put to death. 40. Why was Nadab and Abihu killed? Unholy speech, Sabbath work, offered strange fire, or improper sacrifice? Offered strange fire. Leviticus 10:1-2. And Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, took either of them his censer, and put fire therein, and put incense thereon, and offered strange fire before the Lord, which he commanded them not. And there went out fire from the Lord, and devoured them, and they died before the Lord. 41. Who interceded for Israel's forgiveness for their complaints? Moses, Aaron, Joshua, or Caleb? Moses. Numbers 14:19-20. Pardon I, Moses, beseech thee, the iniquity of this people according unto the greatness of thy mercy, and as thou hast forgiven this people from Egypt even until now. And the Lord said, I have pardoned according to thy word. 42. What creature bit the Israelites when they spoke against God and Moses? Poisonous scorpions, fiery serpents, wild beasts, or stinging locusts? Fiery serpents. Numbers 21:6. And the Lord sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and much people of Israel died. 43. Who challenged Moses' leadership alongside Korah? Dathan and Abiram, Joshua and Caleb, Aaron and Miriam, or Eleazar and Ithamar? Dathan and Abiram, Numbers 16, 1-2. Now Korah the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan and Abiram, and they rose up before Moses, which certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. 44. What did Isaiah say would come forth from Jesse's stem? Lion, olive, wheat, or rod? Rod. Isaiah 11:1. And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. 45. What will the wolf dwell in within God's holy mountain? Goat, dove, lamb, or fox? Lamb. Isaiah 11:6. The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf, and the young lion, and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. 46. What shall the Lord's house be established on in the last days? Valley depth, riverside, mountaintop, or desert oasis? Mountaintop. Isaiah 2:2. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. 47. What shall the people beat their swords into? Plowshares, golden jewelry, iron gates, or wooden yokes? Plowshares. Isaiah 2:4. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. 48. Where was it said the Lord would have a sacrifice in Isaiah? Jerusalem, Bozrah, Gilgal, or Bethel? Bozrah. Isaiah 34:6. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood, it is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams, for the Lord hath a sacrifice in Bozrah, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. 49. Who freed Jeremiah from the dungeon? Zedekiah, Josiah, Baruch, or Ebed-Melech? Ebed-Melech. Jeremiah 38:11. So Ebed-Melech took the men with him, and went into the house of the king under the treasury, and took thence old cast clouts and old rotten rags, and let them down by cords into the dungeon to Jeremiah. 50. What did Jeremiah say God would write his law upon? Tablets, slates, hearts, or scrolls? Hearts. Jeremiah 31:33. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts, and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. 51. Who challenged Jeremiah's prophecies with a false vision of peace? Pashur, Zephaniah, Micaiah, or Hananiah? Hananiah. Jeremiah 28:11. And Hananiah spake in the presence of all the people, saying, Thus saith the Lord, even so will I break the yoke of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, from the neck of all nations within the space of 2 full years. And the prophet Jeremiah went his way. 52. What was a hand holding that was stretched forth to Ezekiel? Rolled book, golden crown, crystal scepter, or silver rod? Rolled book. Ezekiel 2:9-10. And when I looked, behold, a hand was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein, and he spread it before me, and it was written within and without, and there was written therein lamentations and mourning and woe. 53. What was the action Ezekiel had to perform for 390 days? Climb mountain, break chains, lie left side, or wear yoke? Lie left side. Ezekiel 4:4-5. Lie thou also upon thy left side, and lay the iniquity of the house of Israel upon it 390 days. So shalt thou bear the iniquity of the house of Israel. 54. Through Ezekiel, God promised to replace the stony heart with what? Iron will, golden soul, fleshly heart, or silver mind? Fleshly heart. Ezekiel 36:26. A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you, and I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and I will give you a heart of flesh. 55. What did God allow Satan to afflict Job with, sparing his life? Painful boils, mental illness, blinding light, or lethal plague? Painful boils. Job 2:6-7. And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, he is in thine hand, but save his life. So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord, and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot unto his crown. 56. What imagery did Job use to describe his days? Swift ships, rolling wheels, passing shadows, or gentle breezes? Swift ships. Job 9:25-26. Now my days are swifter than a post. They flee away, they see no good, they are passed away as the swift ships, as the eagle that hasteth to the prey. 57. What did Job claim as his comfort amidst his suffering? Mighty wealth, endless patience, innocent hands, or divine promises? Innocent hands. Job 16:16-17. My face is foul with weeping, and on my eyelids is the shadow of death. Not for any injustice in mine hands. Also my prayer is pure. 58. How did Job describe his servant's reaction to him during his trials? Followed loyally, disobeyed command, wept bitterly, or comforted gently? Disobeyed command. Job 19:16. I called my servant and he gave me no answer. I entreated him with my mouth. 59. Who did Peter raise from the dead in Joppa? Martha, Damaris, Lydia, or Tabitha? Tabitha, Acts 9:40. But Peter put them all forth and kneeled down and prayed, and turning him to the body said, Tabitha, arise. And she opened her eyes, and when she saw Peter, she sat up. 60. What vision did Peter have on the rooftop in Joppa? Holy fire, animals, shining cloud, or blazing chariot? Animals. Acts 10:12-13. Wherein were all manner of four-footed beasts of the earth, and wild beasts, and creeping things, and fowls of the air. And there came a voice to him, Rise, Peter, kill and eat. 61. What must be without blemish? Animal offerings. Leviticus 1:10. And if his offering be of the flocks, namely of the sheep or of the goats, for a burnt sacrifice, he shall bring it a male without blemish. 62. Who appeared with Jesus during the transfiguration that Peter witnessed? Moses and Elias. Matthew 17:3-4. And behold, there appeared unto them Moses and Elias, talking with him. Then answered Peter and said unto Jesus, Lord, it is good for us to be here. If thou wilt, let us make here 3 tabernacles, one for thee, and one for Moses, and one for Elias. 63. Who first recognized Jesus as the Messiah, calling him the Lamb of God? John the Baptist, John 1:35-36. Again the next day after John the Baptist stood, and the two of his disciples, and looking upon Jesus as he walked, he saith, Behold the Lamb of God. 64. Whom did Jesus tell, The cock shall not crow till thou hast denied me thrice? Peter, John 13:38. Jesus answered him, Peter, wilt thou lay down thy life for my sake? Verily, verily, I say unto thee, the cock shall not crow till thou hast denied me thrice. 65. Under what tree did Nathaniel sit before Philip called him to meet Jesus? Fig tree, John 1:48. Nathanael saith unto him, Whence knowest thou me? Jesus answered and said unto him, Before that Philip called thee, when thou wast under the fig tree, I saw thee. 66. What occasion did Jesus and his disciples attend in Cana of Galilee? Wedding, John 2:1-2. On the third day there was a marriage in Cana of Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there, and both Jesus was called and his disciples to the marriage. 67. Who was absent when Jesus first appeared to his disciples after his resurrection? Thomas, John 20:24. But Thomas, one of the 12 called Didymus, was not with them when Jesus came. 68. What was Thomas' declaration upon seeing the risen Jesus? My Lord and my God. John 20:28. And Thomas answered and said unto him, My Lord and my God. 69. To whom did Andrew first acknowledge Jesus as the Messiah? Peter, John 1:40-41. One of the two which heard John speak and followed him was Andrew, Simon Peter's brother. He first findeth his own brother Simon, and saith unto him, We have found the Messiah, which is, being interpreted, the Christ. 70. What was Andrew's occupation before he followed Jesus? Fisherman, Matthew 4:18. And Jesus, walking by the Sea of Galilee, saw two brethren, Simon called Peter, and Andrew his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishers. 71. What was Nathaniel's reaction upon learning that Jesus came from Nazareth? Doubt. John 1:46. And Nathanael said unto him, Can there any good thing come out of Nazareth? Philip saith unto him, Come and see. 72. What was Mary's reaction to Angel Gabriel's greeting? Troubled. Luke 1:29. And when she saw him, she was troubled at his saying, and cast in her mind what manner of salutation this should be. 73. With whom did Mary stay for about 3 months? Elizabeth. Luke 1:56. And Mary abode with her about 3 months, and returned to her Elizabeth's own house. 74. Where did Mary and Joseph find Jesus after a frantic search? Temple. Luke 2:46. And it came to pass that after 3 days that they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the doctors, both hearing them and asking them questions. 75. What did Mary instruct the servants to do at the wedding in Cana? Follow Jesus. John 2:5. His mother saith unto the servants, whatsoever he saith unto you, do it. 76. What did Mary wrap Jesus in after his birth? Swaddling clothes. Luke 2:7. And she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn. 77. Who interpreted Pharaoh's dream? Joseph. Genesis 41:16. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, It is not in me. God shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace. 78. What was sacrificed instead of Isaac? Ram. Genesis 22:13. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in a thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for a burnt offering instead of his son Isaac. 79. To whom did Jesus entrust Mary's care while on the cross? John 19:26-27. When Jesus therefore saw his mother and the disciples standing by, whom he loved John, he saith unto his mother, Woman, behold thy son. Then saith he to the disciple, Behold thy mother. And from that hour that disciple took her unto his own home. 80. Who was turned into a pillar of salt? Lot's wife. Genesis 19:26. But his Lot wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. And that's all our questions today. So tell us how you did down below, and then share this with your friends and family, and then we'll see you guys in the next one.